church says you can take your baptismal name, or you can pick a second name if you so choose. Well, I'm going to give you a little Jewish lesson. Look up what your name means. Because Jewish people believe we act like the person we're named after. And we carry the name Christian, which means little Christ. So how we live our lives, more importantly than how we speak our words, should tell people who we are and what we believe. John, Jesus' beloved disciple, the youngest, next to Philip, in one of John's letters, he says this. He said, God is love. In God, love is perfect. Now, you've heard that statement, I'm sure, at different times in different sermons. But did you ever understand or want to understand, what does that really mean? What it means is, and this is why I suggested you try that gospel exercise. God sent Jesus, and the Spirit sent Jesus, to give us a living, breathing example of who God is and what God is like. Literally, God gave himself and herself a skin through Jesus. Someone we can touch, smell, feel, and grab. He is, in Paul's language, he is the perfect manifestation of who God is and God's love for us. Then the letter goes on a little further and says, though no one has ever seen God, if we love one another, God lives in us. As the Father has loved me, Jesus said, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. And this is interesting, folks, because right after that, Jesus takes the whole 10 Commandments, the whole 636 laws of the Jewish faith, and he comes down to 2 sentences, the 2 great commandments. Love the Lord your God with your whole heart, your whole soul, and your whole mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Folks, he is not saying, hey, fit God in your life, will you? I know you're busy, but try to fit God in your life. Maybe on Tuesdays and Fridays, be God Day. He didn't say that. Your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole mind. In other words, we have a jealous God, is what he's telling us. A God that says, I created you in my image, I don't make junk, and I'm madly in love with you. And I want to be the center from which your whole life moves. Now that scares a lot of people. And it doesn't mean we're going to walk around going, and be holier than thou. What it means is to be the best we were created to be. All God says is give me your best. Nothing more and nothing less. Just your best. Do what you can do to the best of your ability, where you are right now. And how do I do that? Well, you discover through this wonderful time of preparation of the sacrament of confirmation, what are the gifts God's given you? That's why you should be doing service endeavors. Looking for ways to make the world a better place just in where you're living. In your families, in your neighborhoods, in your schools, in your church. And how do we do that? By learning to love one another as you have been loved by God. Folks, that's a toughie. It does not say in any gospel, and I put $20 on it, be nice to each other. The word nice is not in the New Testament. We have to love as we have been loved. Now, if we never felt we have been loved by God, then you begin to see the challenge. Because, see, it's all about relationships and making connections. Look at all the time and energy that goes into the people who volunteer in the church to make it better for everybody else. That's an experience of church. There's one parish. I used to be a director of faith formation and a youth minister in my earlier life for 35 years here in the Archdiocese of Cincinnati. I had 3 different parishes. And one of the parishes that I had the privilege of working at we decided, this was many years ago, that we get the whole parish involved in decorating the church for Christmas. We found someone to volunteer to cut down one of their biggest trees in their yard. That was our Christmas tree. People made decorations, people set up everything. And this one little girl, I'll never forget her, she was standing underneath the tree, that's how small she was, with her ornament waiting to put it on the tree. That's the way we begin to know how special and loved we are. And our only goal in life, and the reason I share this with you, is to say, what does real love look like? Real love looks like, and here's one that I give you that you got every day in your lives, candidates. Mom and Dad never said the day you were born, well, I don't know about this. If God had given your parents a crystal ball the day you were born and said, here's what the little urchin's going to look like in about 14 or 15 years, they might have said no. And they know what I'm talking about, these adults sitting in this room. But we never question. We never once, whatever is important, we never say to our kids, well, I got to count the cost and I got to count the time. Sorry, you're out of luck. It's not a good day for you. No. Love does not do that. Do we do it perfectly? Oh, heck no. But we do to the best of our ability, nothing more and nothing less. And when we do that, then we start to see the gifts God's given us that we must give back to the world. To show that we are empowered by this God of love, to love. And how do we do that? Again, I'm going to come back to it. Just treating each other with respect and dignity. We've lost that in this culture. This is where I get on my little soapbox. One of the things I believe we need to do so badly is recapture the Sabbath. For some of us are old enough, we remember when Sundays were a day to pray and a day to play. Nothing was open. There were no games. Where the Holy Cathedral, the soccer field, or the football field became it. No. Family became the church. And we gathered for a meal, and we gathered together just to share life. And we didn't make it the 8th day of the week to cut the grass, to mow, to do the laundry, to do the grocery. No, it was a day to say thank you. And again, I didn't make this up. It says in the book of Genesis, on the 7th day, God rested. And he said it was all good. But we got to be able to have that experience so that we can begin to treat each other with that dignity and respect. That we can begin to respect all of life and that we are in relationship with all of it. And that's what it means for you to be church. The church is not the building of St. Michael's or St. Peter's. It's a nice facility, I guarantee you, I'm sure. But the church is the body of Christ, of all these people who gather inside and share life and share their burdens and express that care and concern for each other, who share the struggles together, searching together, trying to live out the vision of Jesus. And in doing that, it's going to spread through Fort Laramie, I guarantee you. People are going to start asking, what's up over there? Look at how they love and care for each other. That's the church, candidates, you are saying yes to, that you want to be a full member in. And that's what love really looks like. Because it's done by the choices, actions, and decisions that we make in our life. The decisions that Jesus calls us to bring about the kingdom in loving one another and caring about each other. Now, some of you candidates might be thinking, hey, I'm only a freshman in high school. What can I do? And this is where I get to talk about my good friend, Iqbal Mushi. Iqbal comes from Pakistan. I got to meet him when he was 11 years old because I was asked to be part of the Reebok Foundation that was going to give him an international award for a program that he started. When I met Iqbal, he was about this tall at 12 years of age. I'm not exaggerating. His body looked like that of a 60-year-old man. Because at age 4, Iqbal was apprenticed by his mother. In our language, he was sold into slavery. So she could get some money to have an operation she needed, and she didn't have the money. Iqbal's job was to work off the debt. And he was chained to a carpet cartel loom, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, because his little fingers could make the right knots to make these beautiful heirloom rugs that they sell all over the world. And the room had no windows, no air conditioning, because they didn't want dust, they didn't want anything to get on the wool fabric. So he was inhaling that as well. Iqbal did this 6 days a week for 20 cents a day. But he kept getting charged interest. He kept getting charged for things that the carpet cartel, because they wanted him indebted for life. He remained a slave for 6 years. At age 10, Iqbal ran away from the carpet cartel. And he joined a group called the Bonded Labor Liberation Front, which was an outspoken, courageous organization trying to educate the world about abusive child labor and the practices in Pakistan. Iqbal got so courageous, he started to say, I no longer fear the carpet cartel. He became very outspoken, and he started an organization called Free the Children. And all he kept doing was talking about the brutality to these children in his country. And he gained international attention. In 1994, at the age of 11, when I met Iqbal, he was recognized by the International Labor Organization in Sweden, and he received the Reebok Human Rights Youth Action Award for his organization called Free the Children. I was in New York when he received the award and met him. And when he was there, he was asked by the reporters, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to become a lawyer and defend the rights of children in my country. And he gained a lot of popularity and a lot of fame. Brandeis University offered him a full scholarship after he finished grade school and high school to become a lawyer so that he could do his dream. And while he was in New York, Iqbal spoke to many schools, many organizations, human rights groups about this situation of the awful plight of these children. At the ceremony, there were over 2,000 people there when he spoke and received his award. As he became more popular and more of a movement, the carpet cartel business started to dwindle. They couldn't sell the rugs. They couldn't find the kids. On Easter Sunday morning in 1995, at the age of 12, Iqbal was riding his bike around his neighborhood with his family and friends, where he was murdered. To this day, no one has been accused of that murder. Iqbal's speeches and his spirit still ring on. Free the Children has become a mantra for the world. And he himself and his organization, just by what he did, was responsible for freeing 30,000 children who worked in the carpet cartels and were abused. And Iqbal would just say, I'm just a normal 12-year-old kid. I just have a deep desire to help somebody. Young people and adults, I want to say to you, I know our world is cruel and evil and filled with hatred. But I believe that each one of us has an Iqbal Masih spirit inside us. And that we can still show the world a better way. And that's what I hope you begin to understand through the gift of the Holy Spirit that you received at your baptism. Candidate, you were named, washed, anointed, and claimed for God. Now, you didn't say much that day except cry. But now you get to step up and say, yes, I want to make a difference. My prayer is that you have the courage to do that. So now what I'd like to do to close is I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes for a moment. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just focus on the table in front of you. And I just want you to quiet yourself down and realize that God is right here, right now, in our midst, and present to us.